Good evening and welcome to News 20 at 5. I'm Kayla Lawson. Thanks for joining us. Florida Governor Rick Scott signed Senate Bill 7026 into law Friday, the first gun control legislation enacted in the state after the Parkland school shooting. The law, known as the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, tightens gun control in several ways, but also allows some teachers to be armed. One provision of the law raises the minimum age to purchase a firearm to 21 from 18. Governor Scott met with the victims' families in Tallahassee before his announcement explaining the provisions, but also says local officials will decide whether to enact it or not. Spring is here, and you may be wondering if the flu season is over. Not just yet. Although there has been a decrease in the amount of flu cases in the United States, flu season isn't over yet, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Doctors are still seeing a number of patients with the flu, and the CDC reports that over 27,000 people were hospitalized with the flu between October 1st and March 24th. Flu activity is still happening in 22 states, including Georgia and Alabama. The Tallahassee City Commission has informed residents on plans for the Orange Avenue housing complex at its affordable housing workshop. The city and county created an affordable housing work group. That group identified the redevelopment of the Orange Avenue complex as a new project. There will be more and much larger units than the homes enclosed by beige concrete walls at the Orange Avenue apartments, having 200 public housing units on 29 acres managed by the federally funded Tallahassee Housing Authority. Major projects have been allotted funds in the city of Tallahassee. Paige Maloney tells us more.
The budget for the state of Florida is considered to be the best budget in the past 4 years. Mayor Gillum is eager to have money come to Tallahassee. A few projects have already been allotted funds, with the Tallahassee International Airport being on the top of the list. Chris Curry, the director of aviation, represented the airport during the session. He gives us further details on this project.
Well, we, as the airport in the city of Tallahassee, got $1 million appropriation from the state. We intend to use that $1 million appropriation to help lure JetBlue to the Tallahassee airport.
Citizens as well as visitors will benefit from this project. The capital city, home of 3 large college institutions, receives visitors from all over. Jim Petrozelli, a Florida State dad, is excited to hear about this project.
I think it's a great project. I've got 2 kids here at school at FSU, and it makes it difficult to fly up here from South Florida. 3 other projects that were included in this year's budget are funds for a central drainage ditch, the Tallahassee Lake Playground at Tom Brown Park, and for the fire department. Tallahassee's projects that survive the legislative budget will increase safety and result in major provisions in the city.
According to Mayor Gillum, this year's legislative budget for the capital city is a win. Millions of dollars will be given to Tallahassee for several different improvements in the city. No projects were vetoed and are expected to make a difference in the city this year. I'm Paige Maloney with FAMU TV 20.
The Florida legislature approved an $89 billion budget that includes more money for schools, tax cuts, and more spending on the state's environmental land program. Leon County has approved a budget for the Public Safety Coordinating Council to ensure safety in the Tallahassee area. According to the Tallahassee Democrat, the council will decide on ways to help the community. These funds are to focus on substance abuse, lack of jobs and life skills, employment assistance, and felon reentry back into Leon County. For the past 3 years, Leon County has the highest crime rate in Florida based on self-reported data submitted to the state. Leon County saw a record number of 22 homicides in 1 year. The longest table is coming back to Tallahassee. Attendees gather to enjoy free entertainment and food. Tallahassee residents come out to have a great time and engage with other local residents. One benefit of the longest table is bringing community leaders closer with the community. Residents talk about their views on community and police relations to economic stability and equality. This year, their plan is to have an ongoing effort to foster diverse communication within the community. Coming up on News 20 at 5, how long will it take for Atlanta residents to be able to pay bills online again? Also, find out why a woman shot in the YouTube headquarters, what are causing immigrants to march through Mexico, and which activist died at the age of 81. Stay tuned, you're watching News 20 at 5.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome,
I think we're breathtaking.
and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this.
Is that Bran?
colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to getschool.com for more info.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Kayla Lawson. Atlanta residents can't pay their water bills and parking tickets online. Police and other employees are having to write out their reports by hand, and court proceedings for people who are not in police custody are canceled until computer systems are functioning properly again. More than 6 days after a ransomware attack shut down the city of Atlanta's online systems, officials are struggling to keep the government running without many of their digital processes and services. A 39-year-old woman has opened fire at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California. She became enraged when YouTube started to censor her videos. Randy Page tells us more.
I'm sorry, I can't believe it.
Nassim Agdam's father, Ismail, emerged from his home this afternoon only long enough to hand out this written statement, which says, in part, "Our family is in absolute shock and can't make sense of what has happened yesterday. Although no words can describe our deep pain for this tragedy, our family would like to express their utmost regret. Sorry for what has happened to innocent victims." Her family tells us she was an animal rights activist and vegan. Her YouTube videos show her passion for exercise and activism. She was known as Green Nassim by thousands of followers. Her family says about a year ago, Nassim became very angry when YouTube censored her videos, as Nassim herself explained online.
I'm being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one.
This woman, who told us she was Nassim's aunt but would not give her name, described Nassim's online crusade in this way.
Stop eating animals. And YouTube filter her videos. That's why that happened, and I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for those people shot. Hopefully they'll be alive.
And she's angry at YouTube.
Yeah, because they filter.
Members of Nassim Agdam's family say the activist had been living with her grandmother in this home in San Diego, which authorities searched today. Ismail told us he warned police that his daughter was angry at YouTube and there could be trouble.
So for 1 year she was angry at YouTube, and police said they would watch her in Mountain View.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Another aunt told us Nassim was not a violent person. They had no idea she owned a gun or that a tragedy like this could happen.
Feeling so bad. Yeah, I'm feeling down. I feel so sad for her.
What's the family going through?
They're so sad.
Did you have any idea she had this potential to do this?
No, I have any idea.
Was she a loving person?
Yes, of course.
Family members of Nassim say they warned police ahead of the shooting. She used YouTube to post videos about her views on animal rights and her vegan lifestyle. 50 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated outside his hotel room in Memphis, Tennessee. Today, the civil rights leader's life and legacy are being honored. Bells across the nation will toll 39 times for each year of King's life. In Memphis, tributes saluting King will take place in the courtyard of the Lorraine Motel, now home to the National Civil Rights Museum. In Atlanta, where King was born, members of his family will lay a wreath at his crypt. Events in the nation's capital include a morning prayer vigil at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, a silent march from the King Memorial to the National Mall, and the Act to End Racism rally throughout the day. More than 1,000 immigrants are marching through Mexico. Their goal is to flee Central America and seek asylum both within Mexico and the United States. The march through Mexico appears to have angered U.S. President Donald Trump. After months of expressing support for a compromise on immigration, he used an Easter morning tweet to suggest that's no longer an option. Anti-apartheid icon Winnie Mandela, the former wife of South Africa's late President Nelson Mandela, has died at the age of 81. According to a family statement, she died at Johannesburg Hospital Monday after her health began to fail early this year. Along with her former husband, Winnie Mandela became one of the most recognizable faces in the decades-long struggle to end apartheid in South Africa. Known as the mother of the nation, she will be remembered for her role in the fight against white minority rule. Winnie Mandela was considered a warrior. She was powerful, yet controversial in the anti-apartheid movement. Coming up on News 20 at 5, our Rattler football team is gearing up for their spring game. Also, find out what Seminoles decided to take a turn in their basketball career, which golf player earned his green jacket. We'll have that and more next in sports. You're watching News 20 at 5.
Florida A&M University students have explored international cultures while discovering what they can become.
From Hong Kong working as a camp counselor to the Dominican Republic for the Study Abroad program, I discovered my passion for international studies. As Miss FAMU, the university has prepared me to represent my institution in the global market.
Discover what you can become.
Descubrir lo que puede llegar a ser.
Yeah, what she said. For more information about our Study Abroad program, visit discoverfamu.com.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Kayla Lawson. Springtime is a season where things bloom, but at Florida A&M, it's a period of planting seeds for new beginnings for the football program. FAMU's first spring scrimmage is in the books. While new coach Willie Simmons gave the Rattlers a passing mark, a learning curve is expected. Simmons, who is implementing new offensive and defensive systems, liked his team's effort and energy. FAMU coaches were active during the scrimmage, teaching and instructing, stressing fundamentals and mindset. FAMU is set to have their spring game on the 21st of April. The Ohio State Buckeyes basketball program picked up a commitment on Sunday as former Florida State guard C.J. Walker announced via Twitter that he will join Chris Holtman's program. The Indianapolis native was originally recruited by Holtman during his time at Butler University, but after 2 years in Tallahassee, Walker decided to come back to the Midwest after an official visit over the weekend. The 6'1" guard started 34 games during his sophomore year. Walker will need to sit out the 2018 and 2019 season, but will have 2 years of eligibility remaining when he is able to play on the court for the Buckeyes. Zip line through treetops, soar over cypress swamps, and conquer aerial games and obstacles on one of Tallahassee Museum's tree-to-tree adventures. 52 acres of native plants and wildlife, Tallahassee Tree-to-Tree Adventures transports adventurers through swamps, forests, and life habitats. The museum offers 3 different courses to choose from for zip lining. Nature from bird's eye view while gliding at heights of up to 62 feet from the ground. Co-manager Raymond Armstrong says that the weekends are the busiest times and most people prefer the soaring cypress, which allows you to zip line across 700 feet of cypress wetlands. For the 4th year running and the 7th time in 8 seasons, the new Masters golf champion is a first-time major winner. And Patrick Reed claimed the famous green jacket after finishing 15 under par on Sunday evening in Augusta, a stroke ahead of the field.
You know, I really haven't come off cloud 9 yet. You know, it's something that as a kid you always dream about. Is, you know, you're always on the putting green, being like, all right, well, this putt's to win the green jacket. This putt, you know, I have to get this up and down to win the green jacket, and to be able to sit here wearing it, it's a surreal moment for me, and it's something that I'll never forget.
It's remarkable when you consider in 4 previous Masters appearances, Reed had missed the cut twice and never had a round in the 60s. What a dream come true. Villanova defeated Michigan Monday night to become national champs in men's college basketball. Fans celebrated the victory and soon spilled out into the streets around Villanova's campus in Pennsylvania. The victory comes after the Wildcats scored a record-setting number of 3-pointers in the tournament's history. The team was heavily favored in the game and delivered a 79-62 win in front of almost 68,000 people in San Antonio. This marks the 3rd championship for Villanova in program history. The last was just 2 years ago. Coming up after the break, many murals have graced the city of Tallahassee thanks to its residents. Stay tuned, you're watching News 20 at 5.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Art has many definitions, but creativity tops them all. Although murals can be seen as beautification to the city, artists see it as walls of opportunity. For artist Sarah Painter, Tallahassee is their blank canvas that they are ready to paint. Sarah Painter's work usually goes unnoticed because she prefers to paint at night.
There's been a lot of beautiful things happening, and you see it in the murals throughout the center of Tallahassee and all down Gaines Street, just different projects and artistic opportunities. It's been incredible. Maybe it's been happening and I just haven't been aware of it, but I've been really involved lately.
Wow, what a fitting last name and what a beautiful work of art. That's going to do it for us today. For News 20 at 5, I'm Kayla Lawson. Thanks for watching, and remember to also follow us at FAMUTVnews.com for more news updates. Have a great evening.